Howdy y'all, Editor JT here. Before we start today's episode, I just wanted to stop by and inform you that my co-hosts have been hard at work in my basement, sweatshopping away at bringing you some of the best merch we've ever made. Satisfy your consumer habits, give yourself over to your most primal capitalist desires, and buy through the link below. We've got mugs, shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, all you need to get through the impending nuclear winter with maximum drip. We've got pockets on Kara, Kissinger and his Hell Buddies, unhinged Deprogram album art, and much more. This limited edition drop ends exactly 30 days after this announcement. So consume fast and consume hard as you support the show in return for some communist drip. As always, patrons have a 10% discount. Check out the store at deprogramshop.com. And now, back to the show.
So Aleksa is Aleksa is a very common is a very common Balkan name. But what did you feel like when you heard Apple was calling their voice recognition thing or whatever software Aleksa? Must feel like less special.
I loved it because I grew up with Alexa being a Bratz doll. It was the sexy woman of color edition of the Bratz doll was called Aleksa. And I was teased for that in school. So it felt nice having, a piece of technology, a very powerful one that spies on you. It feels a bit cooler than the Bratz doll, at least for a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah, but whatever anybody calls Alexa, tell me I need to buy milk or whatever fucking Westerners do. I don't know. I don't want spying software in my fucking house. Do you always turn around and be like, are you fucking talking to me?
Always. Yeah, it's disconcerting. You think you'd learn by now, but it's I'm always just buying people milk. It's really confusing.
You can probably do them more. Like you've become an expert in absolutely all fields because you've been confused your whole life. That exactly. Everybody's asking you for shit. No wonder.
It's a great motivator.
My name, obviously I can't say it. I'll say it when we stop recording or whatever. Is extremely fucking Balkan. Let's use that term. Yeah. It doesn't exist absolutely anywhere else. And because I studied it in English speaking institution, every single professor would call me something completely different. And at one point I was starting to write down their pronunciation because I had awkward moments where obviously I'm a hangover fucking tired student at a 9 a.m. class just zoning out in my notebook as I'm sitting, and they're literally shouting across the classroom because they want to ask me something, but they're saying my name so fucking wrong that I don't even know that they're talking to me. That was very noob freshman days. Afterwards, I started milking it. I would go semi-passive aggressive at the professor, learn my name at this point, motherfucker. That's why I didn't raise my head. And they would always feel very, very ashamed. So what I'm saying is milk the complexity of your name as much as you can. It's not. It can be a privilege. It doesn't have to be a pain.
If your name is. I'm so used to being cucked by living in the West for so long. I just let people call me whatever they want. I've given up. It's too much. I'm just whatever you want to call me, that's my name. I need to take that pride back.
Yeah, ironically, that's always the shit that those of us who stayed behind, the real true patriots. I'm fucking kidding, but that's the main shit. I'm sure it happens in Iraq. Hakeem, tell us afterwards. Some family that's living in Germany or Australia or England or whatever, and they come back and their kid whose name was, fucking Željko or something, or Dusan, now all of a sudden are Bobs and Tims and shit.
Yeah,
and all the cousins go what the fuck? You're letting your kid fucking turn into one of them? What the fuck is wrong with you? No pride, hey, no pride. It's always shade being thrown at the emigre families from the domestic ones.
Oh, we have, there's this one guy at work, very nice guy actually, one of my favorite people at work in fact, but he's not from these parts, let's just say that much, and he has a name that is common where we live, but they say it differently, right? But everybody says his name our way, not their way, to the point that even in his official documentation he's fuck it, I'm just gonna write my name the way that you guys say it, just so it's so yeah. And I always feel bad for him, so I go out of my way to pronounce it correctly, but he doesn't seem to mind. Let me see, have I had this experience with people? Nah, my name is very easy to pronounce, I would say. Just generally. No, I was going to say, but hey, why does it matter? People call me Doctor. I'm kidding.
I'm sure they could fuck up your name in Australia. hack 'em.
Yeah.
Or Australians are very good at that, just like completely butchering these things.
You know something, like not to what's it called, denigrate some of the listeners. I love all our listeners, but sometimes if I hear somebody say Hakim, but as an American, like, you know, the American voice without the proper, you know, emphasis on the syllable, right? So they just say Hakim. I'm just like, don't you have African Americans that are named Hakim, right, in the U.S.? Aren't there, like, you know, isn't there what's it called, like a basketball player named Hakim? I'm sure, right? You think you'd be okay. I mean, not to be, you know, of course, it's an uncommon name to an otherwise North American, European context, but still, yeah.
You know, somebody's like traumatized by the pronunciation of their name when you meet them and they literally introduce themselves. For example, I had like a Mongolian friends whose like full name was Bakulum, like you have to do the pronunciation. But every time he would introduce himself, he would say his full name and immediately say, "But you can call me Bachka." Like you know, they're traumatized when they absolutely every time say, like, they have to keep in mind the fact that they are now in a, let's call it, linguistically poor place where people do not know how to pronounce their name, and they immediately have to defend themselves from the fallout by giving an easier option to the local European Neanderthals or whatever. Always found it fascinating.
You need to fight back by introducing yourself with like 15 different options, like a paralyzing form of caving in.
Exactly right.
Go full bipolar disorder. Like, what name am I today? Which one did I give to this one?
Multiple personalities. I love it.
There you go. I confused my diseases from multiple personality to bipolar. Great job. That's because in the Balkans, as we all know, there is no such thing as mental health issues. You just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and shut the fuck up. Okay.
Boys, not to completely change the topic, but how's your handwriting?
Mine is horrible. I mean, mine's legible, but it looks like a child's handwriting.
Mine is pretty fucking bad. My dad has always given me shit because his is absolutely perfect. But I'm pretty sure mine or Alex's is nothing in comparison to... You're a fucking doctor, dude. Like
you guys
my handwriting is horrible. You shouldn't even try to bring me in the running. My handwriting is completely illegible. Not only that, it's it's to the point that sometimes even my fellow colleagues, they can't read it, but the nurses can. They try at the very least.
It's a part of the job description. You have to be able to decipher.
They're like, oh yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Yep, gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah. But the reason I'm asking is because what is with this thing with everybody's parents, particularly dads, but everybody's parents having pristine, impeccable handwriting. But then he comes to you, and you're the dumb fuck. They can't write a 5-letter word without it looking like Byzantine scribbles or something.
I don't want to sound like a boomer, but did the internet do this to us? Is it like the fact that we use keyboards now? I don't know.
But did you not have penmanship classes in school and stuff?
Oh, it's actually a very suppressed shame of mine that I don't talk about very often. In Australia, I think year 1 or year 2. You have to get like a pen license. So you're writing in pencil, and then when your writing gets good enough, you get a license to start writing in pen. I never got it. And then moved to year 3, and they just assumed everyone had it. So I was just living a lie the whole time, just secretly using pens.
Your whole life is going to crumble. What is it?
Yeah.
this bombshell you're dropping on the podcast.
The totalitarian Australian government's going to come and arrest me. It's all over, guys.
Well, like Americans will give you a fucking nuclear missile the second you turn 16, but in Australia you need a fucking license to write with a pen. Holy shit.
When will the government, the nanny state is getting too involved?
They ain't free. I don't think we're fit to handle pens. I think I think only police should be using pens in Australia.
Exactly right. Yeah. I think the hyper-militarized police with their pens. My what's it called? The childhood experience was having these penmanship classes, which aren't penmanship. It's just like a part of another class, but you need to just write stuff over and over again. And this was all from like 3rd grade until like 5th or something. And my universal experience was me writing a page of nonsense over and over again, having the teacher come over, look at it, rip it up, and tell me to do it over again.
Wait, that sounds like a detention. You weren't doing that because you were in trouble? That was just something everyone had to do?
No. It's you had to practice how to write, and you have to be above a certain, like, you know, all the letters you have to write a very specific way, and the way you start your, you know, the strokes when you write, and the way you end them is supposed to be a specific way, all that shit. And I, for some reason, refused. This was my civic duty, to be like, no, I'm not going to do this. And you know what made it even worse? I would go home afterwards to do the rest of my homework, and my parents would come, look at my handwriting, and they would rip up my homework and tell me to do it again.
Same. Here, because it's a dual alphabet country that I grew up in, like the teacher would let you write both in Cyrillic or Latin, but it was very obvious that she would give you shittier grades if you're writing in Latin. Like, it was like the unspoken rule of being very patriotic about your motherfucking alphabet, right? But back on the question of, like, I'm not sure it's the internet, because all three of us here are like pretty old, and we learn how to write in the pre-internet era, the pre-keyboard era. I mean,
exactly.
Not in the pre-keyboard era. Keyboards existed. We're not fucking 70, but I don't know. Most households, at least mine, didn't really have access to that while I was learning to write at like 9 and 10. But I still think the keyboard argument works, because I think that they started writing really well. I love how I'm taking this question very seriously. They learned how to write well because they wrote for decades. Right?
Probably.
While we were only at the initial stage of learning how to put pen on paper. And then when we turned 12, 14, 15, 16, 11, depends on your household, we started using the keyboard. And we literally stopped evolving it. But it's wild. Whenever I need to sign a document or whatever, the brain immediately remembers exactly how to write. And I don't think I write on paper absolutely ever, except when I need to sign something, like some tax shit or whatever. And it's the they shouldn't call it like the bicycle brain. They should call it the pen brain, as long as you have a license, of course.
Hey, look, to break down that thesis, I write maybe like 10 pages worth of nonsense every day at work, because we haven't digitalized for some reason. I go through a pen a day, but my handwriting still fucking sucks. After all of that, after all the punishment and all the practice writing I had to do, my handwriting is still dog shit, to the point that actually I remember my what's it called? Like the person who oversees my residency, administrative person, she came by and had the misfortune of reading one of my notes to the nurse, and she looked at it, and she just like, she went to the nurse and was like, I'm sorry that you have to deal with this. She consoled her over my fucking handwriting. Oh my god.
If you didn't have the nurses being able to read your shit, you could literally like just sit down. Okay, you need to write like 4 pages worth of reports, and just scribble 4 pages. Like, write nothing. Just like scribble with your pen.
The thing
like,
is, I
boss,
need to read
I did
it.
my job. Administrative
But
report done.
like if they bring questions, they bring it up, and I'm like, okay, but here it says XYZ, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking great. That was
I make it up on the spot.
Is that why doctors do it? I think you've cracked the secret of the doctor brotherhood. That's your whole job.
I'm spilling the dark inner secrets of the
not the third thing's like super dark, but like if you're really addicted to some sort of like prescribed what's it called? Not over the counter, the opposite type of medicine.
Yeah, prescription medication.
Prescription medication. Thank you. You just need to find a doctor with the worst handwriting, so that you can go to the drugstore to say, no, it says I need literal heroin, please.
Dude,
sir, I think it says what?
When I write my prescriptions, and then they go to we have 2 systems, by the way, but one of them is the paper system. So when it's like the old timey where you write on a paper and then the patient goes and takes it to the pharmacy. The pharmacist, I think, almost exclusively 9 out of 10 times will call me and be like, "Hey, yo!"
Oh, wow.
He's like, "What the fuck is this that you need?" Like,
Because they don't believe that you actually prescribe them heroin.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So how often are you prescribing people these dodgy things that the pharmacists need to call?
You know what? As much as they need to. No, it's not because it's heroin. Just because they need what's it called? It's like a second step of confirming. That's basically how they do it. But also on occasion they're like, "Oh, this is the medication you want to prescribe, yes?" And there's a tinge of like, "I can't read what the fuck you wrote." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Have you let's end the rant part on this. But Hakeem, have you reached the point in your medical career where pharmaceutical companies send you for free trips and give you shirts and pens?
Sadly not. I don't get any free trips, but I get a free lunch on occasion, where they'll go and they're going to give you a little lecture about some new med, and they're going to have some, like, one time they had goulash. It was actually really good. There you go.
What are they trying to get you to? What are they trying to get you to sell with the goulash? Opioids.
They were trying. No, it was a type of insulin. Oh, listen to how petty this is, Hugo. You're gonna love this. Basically, when you prescribe different medications, right, they come up in alphabetical order, right? They have to be legally in alphabetical order. So what some producers do is, or manufacturers do, is that they will intentionally name their medication something that starts with an A. So it would be at the top of the list, especially when there's many different kinds of the same med competing. And insulin is one of them. So basically, there's this one guy who came and he was like, yeah, we know that there's this other manufacturer that produces this insulin, and the name of it starts with A. So you guys always prescribe this one, right? But we make the same thing, and we make it cheaper, and it's better, blah, blah, but it's at the very bottom of the list. Yeah. So the entire lunch was to convince us to scroll.
That's amazing.
Oh, but your doctor said you will not fucking scroll. Fuck off.
Absolutely not. I ate that goulash. I ate it up. I left halfway through this lecture, and I never fucking paid attention.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Deprogram. Today, we have something very special in store for you. A returning titan, commie propaganda king, sleeper Balkanoid Australian, brilliant documentary maker, YouTuber, and advocate. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on our show. For those in our audience that might be permanently nestled under a rock, could you please say a bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi. My name's Aleksa. I mean, my name's Boy. I I mean, you've given a much better explanation than I could. I make communist propaganda, thinly veiled Serb nationalist propaganda. But that's palatable for Western audiences. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We like to sneak into places and make silly videos, and teach people something about the immortal science of Marxism, Leninism, Maoism.
Brilliant.
And friendship.
Exactly.
And friendship. And how it's
and
absolutely okay.
That is actually the most important one. We don't actually care that much about socialism.
And there's nothing wrong with broners, which, by the way, I only recently learned. Yeah, your bro can give you boners, okay? That is absolutely normal behavior.
And you should probably be having a long discussion if it's not happening, because
True.
You probably need a new friend.
Yeah, is it like it's your nature telling you that this might not be the proper person for you? Like this isn't.
Your body
really
knows
friend.
before you do.
Absolutely. if you haven't had like an overtly horny moment and you felt exposed enough to tell your friend that you're extremely horny right now, you don't like you're not really close with your friend. Okay.
Yeah. I'm feeling it right now, and I think it's really smart of you guys not to do video for these things, because it's very compromising.
I'm sitting here naked, man. I'm all looped up, okay? I am ready. Okay. Let's start with a general catch up on the land down under, or from your perspective, the land up over. How's Australia doing? I hear you're sanctioning Iran now. Anyways, what's the big buzz?
What's the deal?
What's the deal? What's the big buzz the libs and conservatives are hovering over currently? I don't know. Give me top 3 or top 5 or top 2 stories.
There's a couple of things going on now. I think the one thing that has been taking up 100% of my attention is whistleblower prosecutions. So our friend Dave McBride, we did a video on him recently. He's a military lawyer who kind of leaked evidence of war crimes in Afghanistan. And now we know all about all these war criminals, all these horrible things that have happened. But the only person going to jail for these war crimes is the guy who leaked it. So the whistleblower just got sentenced like 2 days ago to 6 years in prison, and everyone else is free.
Jesus Christ!
That's very fun.
Yeah.
So he did get sentenced. Is there anything that he can do?
He can appeal it, and it's nice. Like we've been raising a lot of money. I mean, he's been raising a lot of money. We raise a lot with our video as well. So they've got a good legal fund, and they'll be ready to launch an appeal immediately. But who knows? I don't know. It's a very weird case. It's very much like American driven. A lot of like, I don't know, we'd be jeopardizing our alliance with the Americans if we weren't completely crushing this man.
Okay, we'll talk more in detail about this later. So everybody listening, stay here. This is the hook that we're giving you. We're very bad. We want that. We will screw that. This is a serious topic, and that you should do everything in your power to support this brave man. No. We need longer percentage listening times on this podcast, so that Spotify puts us higher on the lists.
He'll be in jail for 6
aside.
years. He can wait. He can wait half an hour for a plug. It's okay.
Oh God!
He's got time.
He's got time. Any other unhinged or interesting things happening in the land up over?
No, everything else is super trivial. Today, the Prime Minister's getting in trouble for evicting a tenant from his house. There's like a huge housing crisis, and he chose today to evict his tenants so he could sell his house, which maybe isn't the biggest crime in the world, but it is just really stupid to do when you've got all this scrutiny on you.
And why does the Prime Minister have house tenants? What, he has side business?
They're all
landlord?
super rich. I think the reason the housing crisis is so bad is because, I mean, part of it is because all the politicians are huge landlords, like massive landowners. Everyone has 10 properties. So if they put in any policy to address it, they lose personally.
But hey, you're no longer living in feudalism, Aleksa. Calm the fuck down.
It's completely different now.
Yeah. Whole swaths of land, hundreds of people living on your land that have to pay a toll just for the mere privilege of existing. But no. Everything is going well. This is civilization building. Okay, shut the fuck up. We'll send you back to the old country where a different type of landlord will take your shit. But okay, we want to talk about two recent pieces of insanely good short documentaries you've made, and let's start with the first one, sneaking into a CIA base. And some of our viewers that might have not have watched this for some reason are like, what the fuck? At least I would react hearing to this. So whose fucking idea was this? And where do you buy underwear that can house such enormous testicles?
Oh my God. On the underwear question, I get it from Arilje in central Serbia. Great underpants.
There they have the proper sizes. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I definitely would never ever do that again. It was we got really lucky with how we managed to pull it off, but I think it could have gone wrong so many times. But I don't know. There's just this. This base is insane. You got the biggest CIA base outside of America, and it's just in Australia, so they can spy on this side of the world. And it's just here, and no one talks about it. So we thought we'd make a video trying to sneak into it. Even if we don't make it in, just to kind of raise awareness so Australians know how.
Yeah, but tell me exactly what was that moment when you were just, I don't know, sitting in the living room or in one of those fucking insane rooms that your partner in crime has, where he creates the fucking insane contraptions. But who was dude, there's CIA bases everywhere, including in Australia, and these people got arrested. Let's sneak in. What was it if you can remember the exact moment when the light bulb went off and oh yeah, let's risk our lives for YouTube and communism.
I don't honestly, I don't remember the genesis. It feels like an idea that we've had forever. It's one of those things that we've always wanted to do. Even before we had a YouTube channel, we really wanted to sneak into this CIA base. And what the only thing that ticked over is that our channel got big enough that we could justify it. We'd be we've got a big enough audience. If something goes wrong, we'll have a bunch of people who can have our backs, we can do crowdfunding to get us out of prison or whatever the thing was. We realized that we'd reach a point in our lives where we can legitimately sneak into a CIA base.
That makes sense.
And then it just happened.
I mean, this is a wider conversation about, more traditional journalists or ones that take things into their own hand, I hate the fucking term, but digital creators or whatever. But you literally have an audience that is far larger than arguably any old school journalist I can think of, which allows you this power dynamic, if you want to call it that, allows you to do shit like this because it quite literally stops the government or the police, etc., from more intensely cracking down on you because you have this audience.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a thing in our favor. That like it's like the Barbra Streisand effect. It's if they come after us, they're risking making the story bigger than it would have been if it was just us making a YouTube video. But they ended up doing that, which is really good. They made the strangest decisions. They kind of chased us down enough to make a fun video, but didn't follow through with any proper prosecutions. So, like the way the video opens is kind of like the hook of the whole thing. We get pulled off a plane by federal police because we fled the outback where the base was after we got caught, and they pulled us off a plane when we landed in Sydney, and it was terrifying. I'd never really had any interactions with the federal police, but we realized I don't know what their orders were. They had to take us off the plane, but then they weren't going to arrest us. So it was just us standing there at the airport with them, and they're trying to take a statement. And we're just like, well, if we're not under arrest, we can just go. And we just left them there. And the assumption was, like, we're speaking to our lawyers nonstop, and for the next couple of months, we're like, they're going to raid our house at any time. And after a while, we just I don't know, like it felt like they just fucked up. Like I don't know what the plan was, but they made a bad move, and now they're not doing anything.
I mean, probably the intention that works for most people was just intimidation, just you talking to the cop and then you imagining everything that can potentially happen to you stops the story or stops you from doing it again, etc., etc. But that is how both the video begins and the video ends. Now, I want you to take your beautiful time, because there we can only see your lovely face, but we cannot know what you're thinking. So, in your own way, tell us the whole story. We all watched it, but give us, let's say, your personal run-through of the events. You get off the plane, you're in this small town with a CIA base. It's a very normal thing, apparently, worldwide. That's what a sovereign state is supposed to have, absolutely. Don't ask questions, sir, please. Filled with Americans as well. Like, oh my God, what's the big, Chinese immigrants or whatever the fuck? Or like, those, like, but American fucking special forces on our own sovereign territory. We don't talk about it. Let that go off topic. Yeah, tell us the story from your perspective. So you arrived there, and what happens?
Yeah, we got there, and it was kind of funny in the lead up, because we were coordinating with Friendly Geordies, like another Australian YouTube channel famous for having his house firebombed by. We don't know by who. That we can speculate, but in relation to his political videos. Anyway, we're coordinating with them, and we were just so scared, because this is a signals intelligence base, so they listen to everyone's phone calls. So we were very careful when we were planning out what we were going to do. We always had our phones in another room. We wouldn't send any messages to each other, and so we all bought our tickets separately. So we're just randomly, all these YouTubers are randomly arriving in this outback airport, and it was. I don't even know. It's such a strange place to be, because it's so beautiful. Like the Australian outback is just a crazy looking place. It's beautiful desert, mountains, and like, I don't know, cute animals. Everything looks like, I don't know, like a kind of dreamscape. And then there's just American accents everywhere. It's just so many like guys from like Wisconsin just walking around in their checkered shirts and jeans, and it's very. What are they doing there? It's a very confusing sight.
And they're even like disrespectful to the local culture. I remember you talking to one guy, and they're like, "Dude, it's so fucking boring here. It fucking sucks here. It fucking sucks." Yeah, then stay home, motherfucker. Like, God bless. Okay, it sucks. Stay home, please.
Yankee go home is the reason we say that.
It's so nuts. I've never really spoken to American soldiers like on deployment. This was the first time, because they were fucking everywhere.
I have.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh, that's even worse.
Sorry.
Oh god. Were they as nice to you as they were to me?
I mean, they're all right. As nice as they could be for somebody illegally occupying your country.
Yeah. These guys are legally occupying our country. I mean, they did a coup when we tried to get rid of them, but ever since then it's been completely legal. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It's so strange. They. I also feel like I watch like spy movies and see all these things of people trying to infiltrate places, and it's always so much clumsier than in the movies. Like these people are imbeciles. Like we were there. We went to a casino the night before, just because we assumed that the Americans would be there, and there were Americans who worked at Pine Gap at the casino. We just walked up to them and started playing craps, gambling with them, and we're telling them we're YouTubers. We weren't saying we're doing a video on Pine Gap, but they were very aware of who we were, and we were just hanging out and being friends, and they were saying all this dumb shit, and it's just like, is this actually how it works? Is this what spies do? You just start a conversation, these guys just start telling you about their jobs. Like it's just, it's bizarre. I did not realize that it was that everything was held together by idiots. I don't know. But not like we were getting any, like we didn't want to get any information out of them. We're not after that. We just wanted to show that there are Americans everywhere. But yeah. And that was just kind of buying time until we had to actually sneak into the base, which was probably the worst thing I've ever done.
Now you're sneaking into the base, you're in the car, and you're slowly driving towards it. What happens?
Yeah, I was freaking out. It was horrible. I was just so scared the whole time. Another thing we had a lot of.
You weren't showing it. Showing it. Like you were like being typical bros, like fucking going through everything through humor. You're like, what if we just died? Oh yeah, stop being a pussy, bro. Like, so what? You know, but it
is actually kind of nice. It does make it easier in a car full of like dumb boys because like you do hype each other up. There's probably bad sides to that, but it really helps the video because if I was by myself, I would stop immediately and just turn around. So very nice having a bunch of other people who are like also like content brained idiot YouTubers who are everyone's looking for like an extra step that's gonna make the video better. Like when we got there, it was pretty stupid. We made it past this front gate and. This is like a fucking military outpost in the middle of the desert as well. There's nothing around, and we make it past the front gate, and we're in this complex. And then there's a second gate with a boom gate. And if you get past that, then it's another like 5 kilometers past a mountain range until you actually get to the proper base. This is just like the first entrance. And we get there, and like we came there early in the morning because we wanted to look like 9 to 5 CIA workers just coming for the morning shift. And so there was a line of other cars all going in, so we just line up with them. And we wore our little suits, trying to look like spies. None of all the spies were dressed completely casually, by the way. So that's a tip for next time. For anyone else who wants to sneak in, don't wear suits. But yeah, we got to the front. We got to that boom gate, and the guard wasn't paying attention at all. He was like, "Oh, hey, come on in." He presses the button to open it. And the boom gate starts opening. And then he sees the camera and realizes I'm not showing him any credentials. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting in a car.
Shit.
And he tells the other person to close the gate, but like because the gate was opening and I want to get views on this YouTube video, I just like start driving. I just kind of start driving through the gate. It's so stupid, but it's just like in your brain you're calculating. You're like, okay, if I drive a little bit, like not enough to get shot, but just like a little bit through the gate, just see what happens. And so dumb.
Not enough to get shot.
Just a little stab in the groin.
Yeah, because we were talking to our lawyer the night before. That's also part of the video, and he was kind of letting us know, like he's researching like the laws around Pine Gap, and it's really fucked. It's like martial law over there. It's not. None of the normal laws of Australia apply. It's just a completely like. Yeah, it's a completely like military zone. And essentially like they are within their rights to shoot you if you're on the base.
That's just Australian cops in the first layer of defense, right?
Yeah, that's what's
so
crazy. It's an American base, but they've got like Australian federal police all around the perimeter. So I mean, it just looks better getting arrested by Australians than by some like US Marines. It'll play better in the media. Yeah, we were detained there for a couple of hours. It was like a catch-22 because they closed the boom gate so we couldn't go towards the base, but they also closed the big gate behind us so we couldn't leave, and we were just stuck there for hours. I'm like, oh fuck. So we spoke to our lawyers, so they technically arrested us at that point, and then they had to work out what they were going to do with us and whether we were a threat, and we weren't making it very easy because we were all very excited to get more and more funny footage, so we just kept being really annoying to the guards.
They're just like white boys, big white boys.
Exactly.
That's a white boy summer.
This way to the frat, like guys. I'm sorry, it looked like a great frat house.
Yeah, that was it. It was. We were there for a couple of hours, and eventually they realized that that, I mean, we're not going into the base. We're just idiots who made it to the first checkpoint with a camera. So they eventually let us go, and they kind of let us know if we ever show up again, we're going to prison. So it kind of fucked up our plans. I don't know what we were thinking, but what's not in the video is that we had planned multiple stunts to do at the gate. Like really stupid ones. I had one. I rented a bicycle that we had in the back of the car. I was going to come in as like an Uber delivery man in the middle of the desert, just like riding down the highway to get into the base because I wanted to bring them food. Someone had ordered something.
That would be so fucking funny.
we had so many gags. We had one where we're wearing like a spy trench coat for like two people, like on each other's shoulders. But like as soon as we realized that we were going to jail, it fucked up the plan entirely. Yeah, we were just like, this is not going to work.
It still turned out absolutely phenomenal, and most importantly, brought up the conversation that your work really helped push into the mainstream limelight, and that's Yanks having bases in every corner of our globe.
Of the world, yeah.
Logistics, missiles, intelligence, and so on. So I guess let's move into that kind of conversation. What did you learn about just how far the imperial tentacle reaches while doing your research for the video? I mean, they did a fucking coup on your president. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't know that before I watched it.
I didn't know either. It's insane. It's like in high school we all learn about it, and it's a very just weird incident. They're like, oh, this strange dismissal, this thing that like happened at one time and like never happened ever again. It's just really confusing. But yeah, what happened was that the Prime Minister of Australia, he was a bit of like a maverick. He was like pulling out of Vietnam, doing all these kind of like social spending things, like we introduced nationalized like free public health care and all these nice policies, and like, but the kind of thing that tipped the scales for the Americans was that he wanted to kick the Americans out. He wanted to get rid of this base. So
he wanted his country to actually be sovereign.
Yeah. He didn't want to be an American base in the middle of Asia.
Freedom-hating cunt.
He's a cool guy, and and the Americans just cooed him. They found this weird archaic law in Australia that this guy called the Governor General, who's like a remnant of the British aristocracy. He's the Queen's representative in Australia. He doesn't really have a job. There's nothing that he does. But he exists, and it turns out he can get rid of the Prime Minister. So they, like coincidentally, the guy who was Governor General at the time was a CIA asset. So they were funneling heaps of money to him. It's such an insane story because it doesn't get talked about that often here. Like academics know about it, but there's not a lot of journalism on the topic. It's weird. It's like a black hole in Australian history.
Because it's like, to an extent, like to use the Zoomer terminology, it's normalized. Like the U.S. having troops in your country, the U.S. having bases in your country, the U.S. directly meddling in your sovereignty, in your politics, in your establishment, etc. That's like it's a given. This is the way of the world. What the fuck are you commenting? It's like commenting on why the fuck gravity works or why you need to drink water every day. So writing like an article on it or criticizing or even teaching it at school feels like you're talking about how tea is made. Like, dude, this is a given, and it's just like the how we adopt blah 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 bourgeois culture when we exist in capitalism, and we adopt like bourgeois morality because they are the ones who directly or indirectly, I'm oversimplifying here obviously, define what is ethical and not as a dominant structure in society. That elevated to international politics, where there is only one unipolar power that tells everybody what is okay and what is not, that we also adopt. And we kind of like, we're all citizens of the US, but with absolutely none of the privileges of being citizens of the US. That first part, that's how at least I explain it to myself, because it's very much like completely ingrained in culture. In Europe as well, like Germans, the French, French, the British. Oh my God, the British! Like the U.S. doing absolutely insane shit. Like remember when they were listening in on Merkel's fucking phone calls and reading her emails, and it was like, okay, it was brushed over in like 3 days. That's how I explain that. But the other, like, I gotta be the fucking communist podcaster here and call out the hypocrisy of the United States is very often they excuse away like coups that they do by saying, this was a rogue state, this was an enemy state, this is how we protected our national interests from potential attacks, from potential sabotage, etc., etc. But here we have a situation where they are doing it to one of their biggest fucking allies that one can think of, right? So it gives an additional layer of this might be a cliche, but nobody's really America's friend, okay?
No,
You're just an asset. Everything is fucking transactional. Yep.
It was like, it's dangerous to be America's enemy, but it's more dangerous to be America's friend or some shit like that, or American ally, yeah. Because you're a means to an end, and then the second you stop being convenient, you're let go. Ukraine, literally what's happening in Ukraine.
Yep. Absolutely. So when it comes to international presence of the U.S. in Australia, internationally, what kind of info can you give us?
I didn't realize how important Australia was, or maybe I'm just saying that because I live here and I want to feel cool. But like, at first I understood Australia as just like a forward operating base of the U.S. empire. They've pivoted to wanting war with China, and like we're in a really good position to die for them right here on the border. But it goes deeper because I didn't realize with Pine Gap and its capabilities and how vital it is to America. Like we're not just the kind of like cannon fodder. There's also like a lot of their crazy capabilities come from Australia. Like the Pine Gap coordinates all their missiles in this hemisphere. So even the report came out where during Israel's aggression on Gaza, those missiles are coordinated from Pine Gap. Which is so bizarre. It's like, how is Australia doing that? Like, Australia's not at war with Palestine. That's like, I didn't even know. Like, yeah, it's confusing that's useful to the Americans having a base down here doing that.
Yeah, it's like everything nowadays is, I guess, like, what do you get to call participating in war? And they pulled back the definition so hard, and it's like, you have to have your literal troops or your literal, like, it's not even, drone strikes are not even considered war. Like, very often it's like deployment of human beings on the ground, which allows you to basically, like, participate in a war zone incredibly actively by supplying missiles, supplying tanks, supplying intelligence, etc., etc. But because that's not the definition of war, you're not really participating in war. But like you're literally like causing mass death on a particular field, dropping on a particular place, but you are not under, I don't know, UN regulation or whatever, directly participating, and you can use the local population of whatever area that you want to do good old imperialism in to do your fighting. So the only thing you're doing is offering support. That definition obviously needs to be completely re-examined because it makes absolutely no fucking sense because the logistics, the information, and the weapons you give are far more destructive than any guy who's fucking driving it or operating it or acting on the information that you've given them. So not only are we not sovereign because the U.S. operates from our territories, but we are dragged into insane fucking projects of mass murder without the willingness of the local population of these places by both financially and logistically participating in the imperial project. And that is a wider conversation to be had about us all basically being small little foot soldiers, willing or not, for the previously mentioned project. So how do you explain, I guess, as an Aussie, Australia's foreign policy being like just complete willingness to bow before U.S. interests, and not just bow but serve it, but by, in this case, like the real definition of war, by deploying Australians in conflict zones that have absolutely nothing to do with Aussie land. How did this relationship come to be? How do you explain it to yourself?
I don't know. It's so confusing because it is just like one of the most pathetic relationships I can imagine. Like it's not the cool bad guy who's like doing evil to get what they want. This is like completely Australia there's no interest. Like there's no sovereign interest for Australia to be doing any of these things. They're doing it solely to show the hegemon that they are valuable, or like I don't even know. It's but so much of it goes against their own interests. Like China is our biggest trading partner, and like we're so eager to just like do as much provocations as possible, do all these things to alienate this thing and just fuck up our own economy for someone else. Like the only way I can explain it is like again, going back into the history, like the fact that every time there was a little inkling of not participating in the American empire, it was like crushed immediately. And I think like whatever political operators there are now in Australia, just aware of like the limits of what they can do. Like they might be radical, but they're like, I will not be in power if I push this button. So I'm just gonna try to do what I can, like reforming nationally, do whatever I want. But like I won't touch because I wanna keep my job. Yeah, I think the Americans have just so successfully infiltrated Australian politics that it's not really even an option.
Very well put. I mean, there's you mentioned earlier, spy movies and shit, and like general like Hollywood takes on how international politics works. And I remember being younger and like even watching like domestic films, foreign films, where different presidents of different republics and so on, or potentially even like candidate elects, like meet in dark rooms with this or that like narco dealer or this or that evil Russian or Chinese spy, but so that they once they get elected, they fulfill the promises they've given to this foreign power or this criminal interest group, etc., etc. But then you grow up and your fucking eyes start working and you realize that is very much so happening, just most commonly between the local fucking U.S. ambassador and any potential fucking president-elect. And it's not even like hidden. Like almost every fucking election cycle in almost any country that defines itself as pro-West, pro-American, etc., they sit down and they talk about what sort of fucking policy this potential president-elect or prime minister-elect, depends on the system, will do to encourage American cooperation. And sometimes like the embassy itself will go out and publicly support a particular candidate or publicly disown a winner of an election. Like these meetings in these rooms where when you are meeting literally like this treason. You're meeting with a foreign power to discuss how they can best benefit from your future presidency. That's literal treason, and yet it is absolutely common policy for all of these. Sorry to the listeners that we're harping on this, but all of these self-perceived sovereign nations out there. And I guess Australia is like a pinnacle type of example, which obviously is underplayed by but we're just we're culturally similar because we're
just racist. It's not
exactly.
We just like Americans because they're white. No, there's such like deep structural relationships. It's also just like it's not even Americans themselves in terms of like diplomatic staff that are affecting it. I feel like our own security state, like our spy apparatus, is an arm of America. Like it's. Yeah, it feels like they would intervene, and they'd intervene with press briefings about like a new security threat exclusively when they're going after something that America doesn't like. It's such a strange way to operate, and also because they work with the Americans at Pine Gap, and the Americans being part of that empire gives that. Our spies these crazy capabilities. Like we're not going to build satellites like that. We'll never have that kind of reach. So like if they fall out of line, they're going to lose access to all this cool stuff.
True.
Not that they have autonomous access to it, but as an institution, that's something that that they like. So they kind of just on their own, they operate as an arm of the Americans because they'd be nothing without them.
True. Or they do not have enough imagination of what they could be if they actually attempted to be independent. But people working in foreign policy or in the security state having imagination, those two things are literally oxymorons. This leads us perfectly into your most recent video. We wanted to talk about how Empire treats everyone who has a bit of imagination and chooses to speak up, as we've said in the beginning of today's episode. But first, for those who might not have watched it, tell us what's been happening to your second favorite shower buddy, David.
Yeah, so David McBride just got sentenced to prison 2 days ago. He's a whistleblower. So he was a military lawyer for the SAS in Afghanistan, and they were just... I mean, like, there's no good way to invade a country, but like they were like uniquely fucked. They just like crazy executions, like orc style stuff. Like these guys were, executing a guy and then like a disabled man, then taking his prosthetic leg and keeping it as a souvenir that they drink beers out of. That's like killing kids point blank. Just. Yeah, insane stuff, and
regular Empire stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it is just kind of the consequences of imperial expansion. It's you train people to do these horrible things, to keep everyone in line. But it's funny with a guy like David, because obviously like he came in thinking he's a soldier, so obviously he's like very much bought into the narrative. He's spreading democracy. He's like defending the West from terrorism or like whatever the hell is. It's absurd now, especially for him in retrospect. But like the process of like seeing these war crimes or like being aware of them and then reporting them and having your superiors say like no, shut up, don't worry about that. The process like eventually radicalized him, and he's just like he almost doesn't even care about the war crimes. He's like this whole thing's fucked. Like what the fuck's happening? Like it's funny. It takes that to radicalize someone. But he got completely fucked. It's a very, very sad story. He leaked the war crimes to the national broadcaster. Like they're kind of like state funded, but they're meant to be the best journalists in Australia, and they kind of just take the story and fuck it up. He's kind of talking about war crimes being covered up by like the top of the military, and they come out and they're just like, a couple of Aussie soldiers are like. It kind of becomes this like identity politics thing. It's like toxic masculinity. Like they're just a couple of soldiers that are just like hyper masculine and aggressive, and it's just like, I mean, they
knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. That's the thing, and it's like they're not wrong. Like I'm sure these guys are fucked, but it's just like that's not the story. Like that's the lamest part of the story. It's the fact that the whole apparatus is creating these people and covering for them when they inevitably murder a bunch of kids.
But they're trying to take imperial war crimes and turn them into like a quirky individual failings of people. Both the people who carried out the crimes as well as the people who covered the crimes know exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to intentionally obfuscate the background, which is the main story. These people are just an arm of the state, of course. They have to pass through some censors like everywhere else. I'm sure there was please go on, please.
That's the wild thing about, like, I don't want to get too conspiratorial about these guys, but like these journalists like came out of nowhere. The craziest thing is like they've got nothing to their name, and then suddenly they publish these war crimes documents. They're like, who the fuck are you? Like it's crazy. It's like they just got like plopped into Australia, and now they're like the biggest journalists in Australia. It's really confusing. But anyway, that can't be substantiated that much. That's just me being a bit of a psycho. But it is.
The show is called Deprogram. It's please be a psycho.
But yeah. So they kind of fucked up his story. But he fled to Spain, so he wouldn't get arrested when the government found out who he was. And it's so sad. So he left his family here, and it was fucking him up. And he had PTSD from obviously being an imperial soldier in this conflict. So he's just a kind of fucked up guy. He's pretty like unwell, and now he's like isolated from his family, and he's freaking out. And eventually he decides, I'll just come back to Australia, like get arrested, but at least I'll like be able to come see my family. Like his daughter was asking him to come to this daddy-daughter dance, and he's like trying to explain that he can't. Like if I go back, I'm gonna get arrested. And eventually he's just like, fuck it, I got to go to the dance. And it sounds made up. It's so insane. But he comes back to Australia to dance with his daughter for a night, and then they arrest him. And it's so wild. It's such a depressing story because like, yeah, no one really comes out to bat for him. Like the journalists who all won awards for publishing his war crimes documents, they come out and write a hit piece on him just before he's meant to be sentenced to prison.
On their source. On their source.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's like, I don't know. JT isn't here to tell me what journalism school teaches you. But the one thing is protect your source.
Insane.
And these guys not only don't do that, but they attack their own source afterwards.
There's a deal struck. It's obvious. Come on. I mean, I know both of you Balkan boys. Maybe this is like 290s Balkan for you, but this shit still happens here, where there's going to be a backroom deal where they're going to be like, look, this came out, right? You want to just keep your job. We know you don't really care. Help us in the stuff that we, for example, like right before he's about to be sentenced, write a hit piece, like manufacture consent for the fact that this dude, who's actually doing his civic duty, right, is actually a patriot for this country, wants us to improve as a nation, all, et cetera, et cetera. All this nonsense that liberals pretend to believe. Write the hit piece, manufacture consent so that we can take him to prison, do whatever we want smoothly, and then you continue with your bullshit liberal reporting job. And that's that fucking deal was struck.
The crazy stuff is it's so cynical. Like this, again, the state broadcaster is like accused of being left wing in Australia. That's kind of like how they're structured. You got the commercial channels who are just like right wing, and then you got the ABC, which is like all the crazy lefties. And they do the most amazing thing where they do a hit piece on this guy, but they couch it in all this kind of like vague left language. Like at one point they pull out some like blog post he wrote before where he's like, I don't know, he's like complaining about diversity, inclusion. He's complaining about like quotas for women in the army. And, you know, it's like a culturally regressive point of view. But they hone in on that because they're just like, they're discrediting him to a left-wing audience because, like, these are going to be the people
that's obviously that's important, but no, that's somehow more important than this guy fucking saying, hey, there's a systematic fucking problem with our army where they're killing disabled people and drinking out of their fucking legs, okay? Yeah. No. We can't listen to this guy. We can't take him seriously because back in the day he was a bit sexist and it was like women in the army, what the fuck? That's what you should concentrate on. Yeah.
It's so nuts. It's just, it's so cruel and cynical, and But these people want to keep their jobs and they want to get awards and they want to, I don't know. It's so depressing. And like the other crazy thing is that these are like very well-funded journalists. Like they could do so many cool stories. They could do a story on Pine Gap. They could do so much stuff. And they're just such like lazy pieces of shit. Or not lazy. They just want to like cover their own asses. It's just, I don't know. It's infuriating to think someone's getting paid. I'm going to sound like a right winger now, but like my tax dollars are paying this dickhead to sit around and do nothing. It's
not only your tax dollars, but like why I really like your work in both of these videos is like you're not only saying, hey, all of these guys aren't really doing journalism and just complaining, but you went and you did real journalism on both of these topics. And like me and my friend are random YouTube guys with camera. And we covered a thing that you guys haven't covered in fucking decades by just camera and good editing. Like what? Yeah. Like you have absolutely no fucking excuses. You are borderline billion-dollar corporations that have funds, connections, absolutely everything, and could do this like weekly. Have fucking 10 articles come out until like people start talking about it in the mainstream, and we stop this problem of our soldiers going to places that have absolutely nothing to do with Australia and fucking shooting kids, or the fucking CIA having a base on our fucking outback. But no. So that's why it's very important for so-called new media or whatever you want to define yourself as to do what they do, because it just shows to regular people, especially to young people, that these alternative voices are sometimes much braver, no matter what their initial incentive for doing it is, are very much so braver than the so-called academically approved old school traditional approach to reporting on what is happening both domestically and abroad, right? Like no excuse. When a YouTuber does a better job than you have no excuse about why we are not covering this particular thing.
Yeah, it's so shameful that like some person in their bedroom can do it. But it's such a pathetic timeline that we're on now, because like no one was covering this story about David McBride. It was, he was just kind of left to languish, and like the only way he gets his story out is by coming onto a YouTube channel and getting in the shower with us, and we're all naked, and it's like the whole like gay intro that we do. And it's just like, I mean, I love it because that's my channel. That's what we do. But like, it is just painful to think like, this is what it's come to. Like, what do you do? This guy is about to get like sentenced to prison, and his only option is to fucking do a porn scene in order to get the message out. Like, there should be institutions there to do this instead of us. Instead of idiots who want to get naked with him.
That's the rub of liberalism, right? They will pretend that this stuff exists, and they will pretend to believe in it.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, it's all nonsense. It's all falls back to the same, autocratic or authoritarian power of the state falling down against things that either violate the interests of capital, violate the interests of capital's foreign policy, either through extensions of NATO or the United States, or even whatever indigenous foreign policy there exists in Australia, which includes, hey, let's mess with our largest trading partner, who we also share waterways with.
The thing that kills me is that like David McBride's such a like perfect guy for this story, because like usually when you're doing anti-war stuff, you get accused of being like a leftist who's weak and doesn't understand like the violence that's necessary to keep our way of life. And it's just like, this guy's a fucking soldier. He is the guy. He's the guy that you're LARPing as when you're criticizing us, and he's telling you this is fucked. Like I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I'm very like, I think he works really well for the whole thing, and it's just like, it makes it even more painful that
it absolutely
destroyed.
does, and that you like exactly hit the nail on the head with what you said previously, combined with this. If you're just a soft boy, soy boy drinking lefty, then you can't comment because you've never been on the front. But if you're a hardened soldier that actually went to the front, then we'll find shit in this case that you said about women, and then you don't get to talk. It's the continuation of the classic, if you're poor and you're a socialist, then you're just jealous. If you're well off and you're a socialist, you're a champagne socialist. Just applied to absolutely every single fucking aspect of life, which, as always, we've talked this into the fucking ground, at least here on the show, which signifies that, the conservative and the liberal are just part of the same fucking cock that rams you every fucking day, and not in a nice way, of course. We love us some cock ramming, okay? But moving on, based on what you learned from him, because you got to actually talk to him, what's been the typical way, and as you covered in the video, what's been the typical way Australian soldiers are used in American conflict zones? Because it's not just logistics, as they often like portray different NATO allies participating in conflict zones as being, they just drive trucks and they deliver some fucking, medicine and food and shit. With Australia, it's very much so not the case.
It was actually really interesting because I didn't know much about it until I spoke to David and kind of started digging in through it a bit more. It's kind of crazy. Like we served a very specific function, especially our special forces. I hate to say this because a lot of our videos are like very anti-American, but I think they do have a level of press freedom that we don't have in Australia. It sounds insane, but like, I think that's kind of the crux of what was happening in Afghanistan. So there was a lot more scrutiny on the American Special Forces. They even had journalists embedded with them. All these things that like they're unheard of in Australia, and the Americans wanted to keep it that way. We were very useful as like a assassination force because no one's there witnessing what we're doing. No one really cares, and also like, I don't know, we're Australians. There's so many excuses for what we do over there.
And if you die, the guy in fucking Wisconsin doesn't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, no one
still
cares.
votes Bush. Yeah,
it was perfect. And so they started using our special forces on this thing called JPEL, like Joint Priority Effects List or something, and it's Americans would just write up a list of all these people that need to be killed, and then it would be up to their coalition partners to do it. And the Australians were just like the best at it because everyone else was scared of like their domestic audience and like all this stuff, and the Australians are just like, I don't know, the whatever the military apparatus was doing over there was like really solid and tight, and like nothing was gonna get out. No one worried. So Australia was just like killing everyone. They took over everything. So like all the territories that were like given to the Dutch and the UK, because it's a coalition. It's not just America. Everyone's working together to do it. It all got given to Australia. We were just the executioners for the US.
You were earning your bread, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't get anything out of it. That's the thing. We just get a pat on the back from the Americans, and we love that. So yeah, that's why we went. And yeah, we had a very specific role in the war in Afghanistan. And yeah, that was something that David was compromising with his leaks. He was showing kind of our role in America's empire and like the kind of like over the top terror violence they required of us to keep their operation going.
Absolutely. Not to kick shame, but basically just cucked, like completely cucked. You do the worst things. If you die, we don't really care. And funnily enough, your local population will love being cucked.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's such a bizarre fetish. Like I don't understand it. Like it's not only that we get cucked on the like direction of America. It's that like we often try to preempt them. Like we come out with all this stuff against China independently and like hope the Americans will catch up. Just like we need them to love us.
We can be more American than you. Well, brother.
Oh, it's so bizarre.
It is.
It almost makes me like America more.
Right.
In the sense that it's just so impressive. It's so impressive to do that to someone, like to make something like Australia is one of the most impressive feats of international diplomacy. To create this like the most pathetic little like slug of a country that's just gonna do whatever you want regardless. I guess they do it everywhere.
They do, but like for example, all the South American coups and what the use of Australian forces basically sounds like, just more willing and more heavily financed like Contras group the way they did, the Contras were having continuous opposition by local progressive forces who would sometimes even arm themselves to fight against, let's face it, what here we've defined as cuckoldry, right? But in Australia, it's like fully embraced cuckoldry. It's there's nobody like there's 4 YouTube dudes that went to fucking record a video in the CIA base. There's no like fucking guy, obviously, please nobody do this, that's fucking chucking grenades over those fences, right? Nobody even thinking about it. So and even the guys that say, hey, maybe we should chuck grenade. He didn't say this, but you get my points. Maybe the grenades need to be chucked in a different direction, not that fucking helpless people from a culture that we've never fucking interacted with for literally 5 millennia. But we immediately arrest them. Absolute fucking classic. But
what's even more insulting is, at least with the Contras, the Americans supplied them with weapons. We're paying for our own shit.
Yeah, right?
That's the crazy bit. We're begging so much to be one of their pawns. Our government, like recently, two years ago, paid $368 billion to buy American nuclear submarines, which we can't use because we don't have the facilities. We don't have any nuclear facilities in our country. So it would entirely need to be operated by the Americans. We're buying this thing that we can't use, that they're going to use. We're paying for it, and they're going to use it to attack China, and then we're going to get fucked. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense why we're doing that.
But as we've said before, doing this for America is defined as normal. Doing it for any other fucking state, we all immediately lose our shit because, I don't know, they paid for a bunch of advertised Facebook posts, and that's an attack on democracy. Yeah. What about paying for a bunch of fucking nuclear underground silos that we can't even operate? Oh no, that's different, brother. That's securing our borders, our borders for a fucking island. Our crazy vast borders of a fucking island. But anyways. This conversation directly leads us, and what we've been talking about continuously, about your great work and what sometimes we like to consider us doing to an extent as well, with months of heavy protesting turning into large-scale disenfranchisement in the West over the current status quo, especially among young people, as they can no longer look away at the horrors which necessitate the continuation of global hegemony. We must ask a question on how we can continue to utilize the web the way thousands of agitators have done on TikTok to further push this positive, let's call it radicalization. So as someone who does this for a living, what do you think? How do we best push our ideas before we get communally banned in a couple of years?
I think, I don't know. It's tricky. I feel like maybe the most important thing is to remain useful within the capitalist system. Like as Lenin once said, the capitalists will sell you the noose that you hang him with, or something along those lines. Paraphrasing, but like
the rope,
But I kind of see our position as you need to be valuable to YouTube. You need to be making them money, so they'll promote your stuff to a wide audience. And so I feel like as long as we keep that deal going, I don't see anyone coming down on us. Knock on wood. I feel like as long as we're making money for YouTube, for Google, then yeah, we can keep spreading the word. It's not an ideal situation, but it's the best you can do under capitalism.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the ultimate cheat code, what I like to call it. Like you get to remove yourself from the classic, worker capitalist relationship where either you have to betray your ideas if you want to make some good bread and become a capitalist, or like hate your fucking existence due to inherent alienation because you're getting fucked over by your boss every day. And it's the perfect like getaway. It's a product of our time that you get to be, the poster maker for class consciousness, while also that kind of feeding you, which goes perfectly in line with the allegory about the noose and everything. But additionally to that, what you do very, very well is have great hooks, right? There's different stages of the funnel of socialist agitation and radicalization, etc., and arguably it's the most difficult to get people through the door, like the absolute starting point. And what these platforms allow us, especially as being very, very visible through your channel, is hook them on something that they absolutely don't think before clicking would be insanely fucking political.
Yeah.
And then slowly, as the video progresses, push them into the sort of mentality that we wanna introduce. So it's a win, as you said. Fucking YouTube loves it because the algo is super fucking confused. Like, what the fuck? This is not a political video. They're showering. What the fuck are you talking about? And you're getting a haircut in North Korea. Like, haha, it's another tourist, funny North Koreans video, etc. And all the other I'm sneaking into an arms dealers conference. Haha, it's again silly journalism. But then you expand it into a wider conversation about the military-industrial complex, etc., etc. It is our adaptation and, in a way, complete rejection of how documentaries used to be made, how like essays used to be made, etc., by introducing this very sometimes vapid, but sometimes, in my case, very beautiful internet culture as the hook that allows people to get introduced to more interesting ideas down the line.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you have to like meet people where they are at that moment. If this is the format that people are used to consuming, like that's the most appropriate one. And our goal has always been to target apolitical people who don't care, people who don't want anything to do with it, and just show them that these are you have legitimate grievances, and this is potentially your enemy. I don't know.
Exactly. And as Three Wise Men once said, to deprogram them. And with that being said, thank you very much, Aleksa, for all of you listening. Aleksa, not Alexa,
Beautiful.
you motherfuckers. Okay, I'm starting a great campaign of fixing your pronunciation. Thank you so much for coming to the show. This was a great episode and an immense pleasure for us to have you, as we will continue to have you in the future. Book around 2 hours every year. You do not interest me. I am not asking. I'm using my Balkan privilege to force you into coming onto the show. Again, thank you very much for coming on. Please tell our audience, obviously all the links are going to be in the description, including the GoFundMe for Brave David. But tell them where they can find your work, your Patreon, etc., etc.
Yeah, we're all on YouTube. Just Boy on YouTube, Boy on Patreon. Check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. I want to shout out the best merch I've ever seen for the Deprogram podcast. The most recent launch.
Really? You like it? Yeah.
It's so fucking cool. It is. I don't think any online, any content creator has ever made better merch than this current line. It's so fucking
really?
cool.
Fucking thank you.
I think everyone listening should buy it.
We are not paying him to say this, okay? We are not paying him to say this. But like, we went so unhinged that like we hoped it would be obvious that it's fucking unhinged. And then we share it, and there's some just like internet weirdos. But to us, Hakim, I hope it's okay for me to like voice this. Tell me if I should stop. Like, a lot of people didn't get that it's unhinged, and we're getting messages like, dude, you put an American flag on this? Dude, you put a Serbian flag on this? What about Yugoslavia, my man? Like, Xi Jinping, what the fuck, you guys fucking dangus now, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is...
It was, all in all, it was like
That's
six
so
people. It's not, but it's the usual vocal minority, right? I had a guy DM me, very, very, what's it called, well-meaning. He's like, I don't know if this was intentional, but that's a Serbian flag. I'm like, yes, that's the meme.
That's the Iraq era. That is the Iraq era. That's a Saddam Hussein era fucking Iraqi flag,
It's the
motherfucker.
meme.
It's an absolute. And the comments like, dude, I could make better Photoshop on like fucking paint. That was the. I can't believe I have to say that was the point. That was the point. That was the okay. Sorry,
It's
a little tirade.
It's totally
You're getting. Last time you got free merch, you're getting it again. I gotta find.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. But wear it on one of your fucking when you do the React things. Wear one of them, and
The next time you go to a CIA base, wear it.
Definitely. I'm gonna. If you send me the Serbian American Iraqi flag on, I wear it every
Unhinged,
day.
yeah.
That's my
Habibi.
Fuck yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
Thank you very much once again, Aleksa. We would just like to take a moment to thank all our wonderful patrons without whom this would absolutely be impossible to run. If you want to become a patron, please do check out the link below. You get plenty of benefits like access to the Discord channel, exclusive episodes twice a week, early episodes 1 week early, absolutely every week. And not only that, you get to support us and allow us to stay as independent as possible. Thank you very much to all the current patrons, and of course everybody who joined us today. And with that being said,
This has been the Deprogram. I'm Hakim.
I'm Yugopnik.
I'm Boy, and you should buy some Deprogram merch. It's the best.
Hey, let's go.